You think you're in control. You think you're better than most. You think you earned everything you have. You think you built your life by your strength alone. But that's not what God says. Pride is not confidence. Pride is not strength. Pride is not boldness. Pride is the quiet lie that says, I don't need God. It creeps into your success. It hides in your accomplishments. It disguises itself as self-assurance. But it is poison dressed as power. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Before every collapse, there was pride. Before every moral failure, before every downfall, before every hard fall from glory, there was a moment of pride. Not just in kings, not just in leaders, in all of us. Because pride doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it's not in arrogance, but in isolation. In prayerlessness. In thinking, I've got this. Pride hardens your heart. It shuts out correction. It silences conviction. It makes you unteachable. 1 Corinthians 10:12. Therefore let anyone who thinks that he stands take heed lest he fall. The moment you believe you're above failure, you're already falling. The moment you believe you're untouchable, you become vulnerable. Pride builds you a throne, then leaves you alone on it. Because it pushes people away. It refuses counsel. It assumes it's always right. Pride isolates. It makes you think you don't need others. It pushes away accountability. It surrounds you with flattery. And slowly you fall, not because you weren't gifted, but because you weren't grounded. James 4:6. God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. God doesn't just avoid pride, He opposes it. When you walk in pride, you walk in resistance against God. You can't walk in agreement with Him and live in pride. Pride was Satan's original sin. He wasn't cast down because of weakness, but because of ambition without submission. Isaiah 14:13-15. You said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will make myself like the Most High. But you are brought down to Sheol. It started with, I will. That's the anthem of pride. But Jesus said, not my will. That's the sound of humility. The more you say, I will, the closer you move to rebellion. The more you say, your will, the closer you walk with God. So God warns us again and again, kill pride before it kills you. Pride is expensive. It will cost you relationships. It will cost you peace. It will cost you favor. It will cost you destiny. Proverbs 11:2. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with the humble is wisdom. You don't gain wisdom by knowing everything. You gain wisdom by admitting you don't. But pride says, I've got it. Pride says, they're the problem. Pride says, I don't need help. Some of you aren't stuck because of Satan. You're stuck because of your pride. God is not withholding your breakthrough. He's waiting on your surrender. Pride keeps you from apologizing, from repenting, from listening, from learning, from changing. You'd rather be admired than be authentic. You'd rather look spiritual than be surrendered. But appearances don't impress heaven. God sees the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. You can build an image. You can curate a reputation. But if pride is your foundation, your fall is already in motion. Pride will make you blame when you should be confessing. It makes excuses sound like truth. You say, they hurt me, but you won't say, I hurt them too. You say, they didn't understand, but you never say, "I didn't communicate well." Pride protects your ego but destroys your soul. Jesus told a parable to pierce through that illusion. Luke 18:10-14. Two men went up to the temple to pray. The Pharisee said, "God, I thank you that I'm not like other people." But the tax collector said, "God, have mercy on me, a sinner." Jesus said it was the humble one who walked away justified. Which one are you? Do you compare yourself to others to feel better? Do you talk to God more about their sin than yours? Pride in the pew is just as dangerous as pride in the palace. If you won't bow in secret, God will expose you in public. But if you humble yourself in private, He will elevate you in public. God doesn't call you to hate yourself. He calls you to humble yourself. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less. Pride says, "Look at me." Humility says, "Look at Him." John 3:30. He must increase, but I must decrease. That's the posture of the Spirit-filled. That's the mindset of a servant. That's the model of Jesus. 1 Peter 5:6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time He may exalt you. Promotion in the kingdom doesn't come from pushing. It comes from bowing. Humility is the soil where God grows His favor. It's the path that leads to influence, intimacy, and insight. When you walk in humility, you listen quicker. You forgive faster. You repent deeper. You grow stronger. God gives grace to the humble. And grace is what empowers change. Jesus, the King of Kings, took the lowest position. Philippians 2:5-8. Though He was in the form of God, He did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped, but humbled Himself. If anyone had the right to be proud, it was Him. Yet He knelt. He served. He submitted. And because of that, God exalted Him. So, if you want to be raised, go lower. If you want to lead, serve. If you want to grow, repent. If you want to shine, humble yourself. James 4:10. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and He will exalt you. That's not weakness. That's worship. Pride robs you. Humility fills you. Pride limits you. Humility launches you. So today, kill pride before it kills your calling. Starve it before it steals your peace. Bury it before it buries your future. And walk humbly with your God. Micah 6:8. He has told you, "O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God?" This is what heaven honors. This is what hell fears. This is what the world needs. Not pride, but humility. Not self-glory, but surrender. So today, lay down your crown, pick up your cross, and let humility lead the way.